asking the process of what I'm doing. What I am doing is running explosives down hole, and it perforates the well. So what they do is they bring a drilling rig out, they drill the well, it goes down generally, you know, anywhere from 8 to 12,000 feet, and then kicks off horizontal. And we have to pump tools down through that horizontal out towards, you know, the end of the pipe, and puncture holes through that pipe so they can get oil or natural gas to come in. So I'll go down and I'll generally set a plug which isolates what we've done already, and then shoot however many guns the company we're working for wants shot, whether it be 8, 10, 16, 20, different set of perforations down hole. I'm at 1,000 feet. If you can't, go ahead and please close the tool trap. Go ahead and close the tool trap. So I will, like I said, perforate that the pipe, and then they will do a frac job on that stage that I just shot. You know, that nasty word that all them people talk about. Oh, fracking is bad. Basically what they're doing is they're pumping water and a friction reducer. It's almost, think of it as like slime. All its job is to do is reduce friction down hole while they're pumping. It helps lower pressure on the well. And they pump sand. It's a man-made sand. It's not the sand you find on the beach. And what they're doing, what they're wanting to do is when we perforate the well, they pressure up on it with frac, which fractures the zone that I just shot. And then once they get that fracture, the perforations opened up, they start pushing sand in it. What the sand is there for is to hold that fracture open. If you just pump water and whatever down hole, and you didn't have anything to hold that open, the formation would collapse back in on itself, and you wouldn't get anything out of it. So they pump that man-made sand down hole. That sand has like a 280,000 pound crush rating. So it's able to hold that formation open once it's all packed in there. That's basically all we're doing. Wireline's pumped up, both full trap, so we can close the well in. What y'all are seeing here is all of my controls, right? I have an up hole, down hole, which you press it forward, it lets line off the drum. You pull it back, it spools line back onto the drum. This right here is a motor speed. This is your hydraulics, and this like can fine tune the speed of the hydraulics. You can basically increase how fast you want to go or how slow you want to go with this right here. This is a tension control valve. Think of it as a drag on a rod and reel. When I'm coming out of the hole, I can start backing off on this and my speed will start decreasing. That's because it's bypassing hydraulic fluid. So if I'm coming out of the hole and I have the drag set up properly and I hit something, snag something, get caught up, say I'm not paying attention, it'll stop the drum. That way I don't pull my tools off the line down hole. You have this right here, which is a spooler control. It's that overhead arm that goes to my measuring head. Right and left controls the hydraulics and allows it to help spool the line on the drum. This right here is your brake. That one. It's basically a disc brake setup on the drum. Wireline's ready to come on. This right here is your shooting panel. This allows us to obviously set the explosives off down hole. Yeah, wireline's ready. These two little screens right here are shows me what my tool string's weighing down hole. Also has my line speed on it. It has some safety features built into it. You can program it to shut the spool down, shut the wire, the wireline drum down if you get over a certain tension. And then this up here is the Bible. This is my Bible. I'll show you a better look of that here in just a minute. So I don't know how well that'll show up, but this is our log right here. It shows line speed, tension on the line, and collar locator. So with a collar locator, generally all your pipe down hole is anywhere from 38 to 44 foot, 45 foot, and there's a collar on there that makes up them two pieces of pipe, your well casing. Well, we have a little tool that we run on here it's called a casing collar locator, and it's basically two opposing magnets with a copper coil in the middle. So every time you're going by a collar, which is thicker than the casing, it sends that signal through the magnets, through the coil, and then from the coil up the line into our computer system. And that shows up like this right here, this right here, and this right here. That is what we consider our Bible downhole, right? That tells us exactly where we're at downhole. And then this stuff over here is the gun systems. It's an addressable system, so we pick what we want to shoot basically and arm it. Inventory all the switches that are in between the guns. Arm the switch, and then fire. And then from that switch, the switch is connected to a through wire that runs all the way through the gun, and it's also connected to a detonator. The detonator sets off a primer cord, a det cord. Det cord sets off the shape charge, and the shape charge is what perforates the well. So yeah, that's it. Alright, so basically you have the wireline truck, the crane, which is, you know, this is the wireline truck. The crane right there. Then you have lubricator right here. Sorry, the window's kind of dirty. I can't really do anything about that. But that right there is the lubricator. All that's doing is keeping pressure from escaping the well when we are running in the hole. So, you got your wireline truck. Wireline goes around the sheave up to the top, around another sheave, and then comes down. And we run this all the way down. This little tool right here comes all the way down, turns. This is where I said we have to kick pumps on to pump fluid, because we got to be able to push this tool around this curve and carry momentum in the vertical or the horizontal portion of the well. So once we get all the way down, this right here is existing perfs that's already been fracked. So we will come down, we'll set this plug right here, which blocks this off from coming up. Once we set this plug, we will perforate however many guns they want. And this will create fractures in the formation down hole. Take for instance, this one I'm on. This curve right here is right at about 12,000 foot. And then we're going out to close to 18,000 foot. So we'll perforate this, all these little... Hold on just a second. So as I was saying, we'll perforate these right here, which creates cracks in the formation. Then we'll pull out of the hole. Then frack will pump water and sand. Water's just to carry the sand. They'll pump that sand all the way down hole, and it'll get to this formation. So say where I perforate it is like this. Alright, once they pressure or apply pressure into this formation, that formation will open up. And when they pump that sand down, that sand comes in here and fills all of this in. That way, whenever they're done, this formation doesn't collapse back on them. Because it's a lot easier to get oil and gas out of this than it is to try to squeeze it out of this. So that's what we're doing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm picking up this tool string. Tool string's got a couple weight bars on it that allows us to fall in the well, because these wells generally have about 6,000 to 7,000 pounds on it. Then it's got a your case and collar locator, CCL. It's got what's called a ballistic release tool. If we get stuck down hole, we can set off a detonator in that ballistic release tool, which will release our weight bars and collar locator from the gun string, and it'll leave the gun string down hole. and then they would bring out another type of wireline service to fish us out, fish our tool string out, or they'll bring out what's called a coiled tubing unit. A coiled tubing unit is basically what we are, but a lot bigger. It's got basically 2-inch pipe rolled up, about 30,000 foot of it. And they're able to go down with different types of tools and, you know, circulate through that pipe, fish with oil jars and stuff like that. You know, latch onto our tools, and they can pull way more than we can. And then once they fish our tools out, they can go back down with a mill and clean the casing up, kind of like a drilling rig would go down with a drill bit. They can put a drill bit on the end. It's just a milling tool or a reaming tool that goes down and smooths the bore of the casing, so we don't get stuck again. But our tool has, you know, the weight bars, the casing collar locator, ballistic release tool, 10 gun strings. Each gun is loaded with 6 shape charges, and then we have what's called a setting tool that allows us to set the plug.
They ain't done no pump maintenance yet, so.
Oh, they haven't?
No, it's gonna catch up to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to dig off.
Here pretty soon, as we're getting shallower, we're gonna be beating them out every time regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, I was out the hole as soon as they shut down anyway, so.
Yeah, literally. So. We'll see how it goes. In a bit, bud.
Later. Alright, this is what I do. This is it, sitting here. Look at all of this stuff. Now that we're 200 foot below the surface, I can check the gun string, make sure it can read all the switches. Which, these are the switches. Basically, you're going to inventory, well, set it to arm, and hope that it inventories everything. All of them's green, that tells me everything's good. Go back to collar locator, which is showing this right here.
The day guy, David? And then the guy told him, he's like, just YouTube it. So he was there on YouTube all night.
Half a foot.
Half a foot?
Yes, sir. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Sitting at 16,928, weighing 2,700. You good?